Hey friends, it's Will. So when I started Leatherwork, like a lot of other people, I bought a super cheap set of tools on eBay and some 4 or 5 mil leather as well. I think it was from eBay actually, and started making. I think my first project was a bifold. I had no idea where to start. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea about thickness of leather or anything else like that. And I very soon realised I think it was 4 mil actually. 4 mil leather is absolutely dreadful for pretty much anything apart from saddlery. Trying to make a wallet with 5 mil leather, 4 mil, sorry, and it doesn't go well. The leather I'm using in this project is 1.2 mil, just to give you a indication as to the difference. And I had no idea where to start. And you should not start making with a bifold. This project I'm making here, probably the simplest thing it's possible to make. It's just 2 pieces of leather wrapped in half. But it's just to demonstrate there are so many techniques that you can practice and master with a really, really simple project. You don't need to start complicated. In fact, I would highly recommend you don't start complicated. It's not necessary. And there are so many skills that you can learn very, very easily. So I wanted to demonstrate today that I do leather work for other people. Obviously, I make things for other people, but I do leather work for me. I do leather work because I enjoy it. The fact that I get to make it for other people to enjoy as well is a bonus. And the factor of making it for myself to enjoy is really, really important to me. One of the reasons I started leatherwork in the first place, when I actually think back to why, not just what I wanted to make, but why I was actually doing it, I was suffering with really severe depression when I started doing this. And having something to focus on that used my hands, that used my mind, that I could think about when things were dark, because they got really dark, it helped so much. And I do it now for my mental health. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I first got depression in 2019 when I just finished uni and started with the ambulance service. I got quite severe depression. But today, if I'm having a bad day, if I want to relax and step away from the world, I will do some leather work. And it's so helpful. I think even though we don't want to admit it, there's still a stigma around mental health. People don't want to talk about it. People don't want to admit that they aren't feeling as well as social media wants them to feel. Looking at lots of people being very smiley, wearing nice clothes, makes people think, oh, I can't feel down today, I have to feel upbeat. And therefore mental health is this shadow above everyone that people just don't want to admit to. I think there's a huge population of people around the world that are suffering with mental health issues, that don't seek treatment and that don't talk about it. I started doing this for my mental health. I continue to do it for my mental health. I no longer have depression, but if it wasn't for leatherwork, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would still have depression. It's impossible to know because I still have leatherwork. And there's probably people out there who feel the same way, that started it because it's therapeutic. They started it because they picked it up when they were feeling low and it helped them not feel low anymore. For me personally, it's something to disconnect a little bit, something to disconnect from myself, so I'm not in my own head, and that is really, really helpful. Like, I can be making something and fortunately not be thinking about anything else. I'm fully mentally entangled with what I'm doing because I'm trying not to cut my finger off, basically, because the knives I work with are really sharp. As you know, if you do leatherwork, you need really, really sharp knives. And I want people to be more open about how they deal with their mental health. How they, if they have it. I mean, you may not have any mental health issues, and if you don't, that's fantastic. But if you do, you don't need to be ashamed of it. It's no different than having a broken bone or something else, medical, a gastric issue, I don't know. But it's no different. Your body is dealing with something. Your mind is part of your body. It's dealing with something. And as a result of that, it does things to your body. So, I mean, this project that I'm making today, I didn't set out to make as an example of what you can do in a simple case with a simple card case, I guess it is. But I set out to do it because I was feeling a little bit low that day. And to deal with that, instead of taking a medication, which is fine if you take a medication, speak to your doctor about that, obviously. But I did it because it's a way for me to deal with my mental health. It's a therapy for me. One of my absolute favourite parts of leatherwork is stitching. I find the movement, it's called fine motor coordination, the particular type of movement your hands are doing. It's called digital fine motor coordination. But I find it really therapeutic. Now, I actually no longer do. I made a video a few years ago when I started doing leatherwork full time. I actually no longer do leatherwork full time. I'm now a full-time student. I am doing my masters at the moment. I've moved and I'm doing my masters, which I'm loving. So leatherwork now for me is more of a therapeutic measure than anything else. I still make it for clients, obviously, but I no longer do it as a job. I'm doing air commas in my air quotations in my studio whilst I'm recording this, but obviously you can't see that. But I absolutely love stitching. It's so therapeutic, and it's something that, like, if I'm having a low day, I might just start stitching something. It's why I actually started making this. This is a technique that I don't know if I developed, I haven't seen anyone else doing it, but you actually put a little bit of white glue on top of the thread before you pull it through the last hole. It pulls that white glue through that hole, seals it. You have to wait a minute or two before you snip it off so it dries fully, but it seals it, and if you cut the thread nice and close, you won't see it. You can tuck it into the hole a little bit, and it will never come off, because afterwards you tap it down, you close the hole. White glue is really, really strong. PVA if you're in England, but most of you guys are not in England. In fact, I haven't actually burnished anything in like a year because I very rarely use veg tan. Not for any specific reason, I just don't use it very often. I use it a lot of goats. But this is it. This is the I guess wrap wallet, if you want to call it that. Absolutely loved making it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I will see you next time. Have a fantastic day.